People love listening to stories. People love listening to your life story regardless of how boring you think it is. So write down even the smallest detail, the smallest piece of information that you think might be interesting to people. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Success Academy. I'm Shashank Dias, and in this video, we're going to look at 5 tips that will help you get a band 7+ score at the IELTS Speaking Exam. The IELTS Speaking Exam can be one of the most daunting parts of the test for a lot of people, especially if you have public speaking anxiety, if you feel nervous when speaking in front of somebody else, or when you're trying to formulate your words, formulate sentences, speak confidently in English, you're someone that gets stuck. If this is you, this video is exactly what you need. Speaking is a universal skill. Speaking is not something that you just focus on for your IELTS exam. Listening, reading, writing, maybe these skills might not come in handy for you as much, but speaking, if you can't speak well, you're going to have a tough time not just facing the IELTS exam, but surviving in society. From building up a confident personality to standing out in your place of work, at your university, and even in order to become a formidable entrepreneur, speaking is one of the most important skills that you have to develop. Of course, for the IELTS exam, in this video, my objective is not to outline the marking criteria for the speaking test or the different parts of the test. We have covered all of these areas before, so I'll put a link in the description down below. In this video, all I want to look at are 5 things, 5 tips that will really help you become better speakers. So regardless of whether you're going for the IELTS exam or whether you're going abroad and you have to speak with someone confidently, speak in your workplace confidently, these 5 tips will really help elevate your speaking confidence. All right. With that being said, tip number 1, the first tip that you have to follow in order to become a confident speaker is to be well read. You have to read books, you have to read newspapers, you have to be updated on current knowledge and subject matter related to what you're talking about. The reason that I highlight this point is because if you don't have knowledge about a specific subject, it's going to be very difficult for you to speak on that subject. For example, if you asked me to talk about cybersecurity, for example, I might not be able to do that as fluently as I'm teaching IELTS. I might use fillers, I might get stuck, I might not have things to say simply because I don't know the subject matter. I can't use examples, I don't have ideas, I will keep getting stuck, I'll use fillers. All of these problems apply to you since you don't know what you're talking about. You don't have the ideas because you're not well read. So if you have read books, if you have read newspapers, if you're updated about current information, if you have at least an idea about the subject matter that you're speaking about, you will never get stuck when you are speaking. Does that make sense? All right. What are some of the things that you can do to improve your knowledge aside from what I mentioned earlier? So what are some of the things that you can do to improve your knowledge on specific subject matter? Like I said earlier, you can do things like read books, you can read newspapers, you can watch news, you can listen to podcasts about the subject matter that you're trying to build knowledge on. You can watch videos on YouTube pertaining to the information that you're trying to gather. You can watch documentaries on Netflix, or you can watch documentaries on TV. There are so many things or so many ways that you can gather knowledge that you're simply not making use of at the moment. So follow some of these advice. You could even listen to TED Talks in order to improve your knowledge on specific subject matter. So without having the knowledge, you're never going to be able to speak confidently. So number 1 is gather the knowledge you need to be able to speak on any topic fluently. Tip number 2, write down what you learn, including your experiences. Okay, If you find information that you feel you can use when you are speaking, regardless of whether you're speaking with someone else or whether you're speaking in front of an audience, if there are pieces of information that you feel are valuable, try to write them down. You could maintain a diary in which you mention information that you feel are valuable every single day. Now, you might not refer back to all the information that you write down. For example, if you had been maintaining a diary from 2021, you're not going to go back there and check what you have learned. But by observing this simple process of gathering information and writing it down, you will remember certain nuggets of information. You might not remember all 365 pieces of information that you wrote down, but you will remember at the very least, 20 pieces of information that you didn't remember before. That's 20 interesting stories, 20 interesting facts, 20 captivating ideas that you could not have used when you were speaking before. So writing down every day will help you remember key information, remember examples, and be able to speak confidently when you have to speak about a specific subject matter. The second thing in this same piece of advice is write down your personal experiences. There is no better way to use examples than by using your own personal experiences. People love listening to stories. People love listening to your life story regardless of how boring you think it is. So write down even the smallest detail, the smallest piece of information that you think might be interesting to people. If you can write this down, you will remember these pieces of information. You will remember these personal experiences when you are trying to speak in public. All right. So number one is gather as much information as possible. Number two, put this information down into words and write down your experiences as well. Number three, try to have appropriate energy. What do I mean by appropriate energy? By appropriate energy, what I'm referring to is when you're speaking, if you're constantly maintaining a very monotonous tone, if you're not giving the people something to look at, something to be excited by, people are not going to pay attention to you. For example, if any of you watched this video up till now, it's probably because you found it at least a little bit interesting. All right, maybe you found it interesting the way I spoke. Maybe you found my information valuable. Maybe you found my energy to be contagious. Now, if I was sitting here and if I was saying, here are 5 things that will help you speak better. One of the things that I seriously doubt any of you would watch the videos if I were to sit in front of a camera and speak in that way. So you have to bring in this contagious energy, regardless of whether you're speaking in Sinhala, English, Tamil, it doesn't matter which language you're speaking in. When you speak, you have to speak with power. You have to speak with energy. You have to be enthusiastic about what you're saying. I'm not saying, now see, if you're saying something sad, you don't have to say it like this. But even when you're sad, you have to give energy. You have to give power to what you're saying. You can drop your voice, but there's energy in the voice. You're trying to reach out to people, but there's energy in what you're saying. Regardless of whether it's sad energy, angry energy, happy energy, enthusiasm, does not matter what type of energy it is, as long as you're projecting the appropriate energy to what you're saying. So you have to be energetic, you have to be enthusiastic when you are speaking. All right. Tip number 4, cut out the fillers. All right. If you have enthusiasm when you're speaking, if you have the knowledge, and if you have written down information so you remember it, cutting out fillers is not going to be a big problem. All right. Cutting out fillers is simply a matter of practicing enough times so that you don't use fillers when you speak. See, just like I told you earlier, if I was going to sit here and say, instead of actually speaking to you, you're going to be not interested in what I have to say. You're going to think, what is he saying? Why is he saying so many ers and ums instead of actually delivering value, instead of actually delivering useful information? So you have to be able to cut out the fillers in order to sound interesting and engaging to the people that you're speaking to. All right. One of the best ways that you can cut out the fillers is by recording yourself and practicing. What happens when you record yourself, and I've mentioned this many times earlier, is that you are able to assess yourself. You're able to count the number of fillers that you have used. So say for example, the first time you make a video, you have used 15 fillers. But the second time that you make the same video, maybe you're speaking on the same topic or even a different topic, you're able to cut down the number of fillers to 10. You're able to cut down the number of fillers to 8 until you have no fillers at all. I hope that makes sense. The final tip for today is that you have to improve your body language. All right. Regardless of whether you're speaking in front of an IELTS examiner or you're speaking to your boss at work, maybe you're delivering a speech at a wedding, it does not matter what the occasion is. If you don't have good body language, people are going to think that you look nervous. People are not going to be interested in what you have to say. So for example, if you're delivering an entire speech with your hands stuck in this position and not maintaining eye contact with the audience, they're not going to be interested in what you have to say. The optimum way to maintain your hands is to keep your palms facing out, your hands below your shoulders and above your waist. However, if you feel that your hands are not serving a major purpose, if you feel there is no use in using body language or hand gestures, you can simply not use your hands at all. You can keep it down and simply not use it until you feel it's necessary to use it. Bad body language would be anything that is covering your body. So if you're staying like this, if you're like that, if you're covering your body in any way, that would count as body language that makes you look nervous. But if your palms are facing out, your body is open, you're standing straight and you look confident, that's great body language for you. Try this simple exercise at home. The next time you speak, try to keep your palms facing out. Don't move it from there except for small gestures in that same position. If you want to move it, you can move it into this position and back out. Just try this simple exercise at home and see how confident you feel and see how confident you look when you record yourself. One final bonus tip is to practice every single day. Guys, speaking is just like learning any other skill. You can't learn to be one of the best footballers in the world by reading tons and tons of books about football. You have to go and play, you have to go and practice every single day. You can't learn to swim by just sitting near the pool and reading a book, right? You can't get advice from other people, watch videos on how to swim and learn how to swim. You have to jump into the deep end and start swimming. Practicing is the only way that you will become a good speaker. So practice every single day in order to be the best speaker that you can be. Practice in front of a mirror, practice by recording yourself, practice every single day and use every opportunity that you get to speak in front of a crowd as an opportunity to your advantage and learn to speak confidently. Alright guys, so with that we are done with today's video. I hope that this video was valuable to you. Now, we didn't directly focus on the IELTS exam, but that being said, if you can apply these techniques to your IELTS speaking test, I guarantee you will get a band 7+ score. So make sure you put this advice into practice. Now, if you're interested in getting through your IELTS exam successfully, but you don't have time to attend lectures, we are offering you a very special price on our video course and information bank. So make sure to text the number below to get more information on that. Pre-recorded videos on all our lessons are available for you to practice at your own pace. So make sure to text the number below to get more information on that. If you want to join our 10-day IELTS training program, make sure to message the number below as well and ask about our 10-day IELTS program. If you like today's video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so that you know whenever we upload a new video, and also make sure to share this with your friends if you thought this video was valuable. Furthermore, whatever you would like us to teach you, whatever questions you may have, just comment down below and we will create videos in the future addressing the concerns that you have. With that being said, we are done for today. Till our next video, keep practicing.